Okay, good morning once again, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome to our second live stream of today. We are on Microsoft Flight Simulator in the Beechcraft King Air 350i. We are doing an IFR flight from Mannheim City out of runway 27. We're going to follow that departure route and come in, do this kind of a weird zigzag and land on runway 08 right, Ils Approach. So let's get in here. Good morning, Mick. Good afternoon, I should say. So let's get in here, get everything set up, and we will be airborne momentarily. I apologize being a few minutes behind. I was making a fresh cup of coffee. So here we are. So I'm kind of thinking about that flight yesterday over London, Mick. Apparently there are updated, you have to buy it, I think it's like $10 US.
Froggy 237 at runway 27 ready for departure IFR to Munich. Froggy 237 altimeter tree 0.03 wind tree 19er at 7. Cleared for takeoff runway 27. Cleared for takeoff runway 27 Froggy 237.
Alright, so 8,000 feet. That's our first sort of thing to dial in once we change the weather, so we don't have to worry about the barometer. Let's get that cleared off there. 8,000 feet. Get that dialed in. So yeah, it did have the... It seems like there was a lot more with that update, or that sort of DLC that would add more landmarks to London. Let's just have a so real quick too, so we're flying in the very basic sort of livery here. What we're kind of the story I came up with is we're delivering this aircraft to somebody in Munich. They're going to repaint it however they want, but it came direct from the factory, so we are delivering it to the customer there in Munich. How about that? There's our backstory of what we're doing today. Not that we need it, but kind of provides a little bit of fun context to our flight. Well, we used pretty much that entire runway, I think. Alright, let's get the autopilot on. Let's get the nav on. Make sure the flight director is on. There we go. Adios, Mannheim. Auf Wiedersehen.
Froggy 237 contact center on 127.6. Good day.
Alright, let's get the flaps up.
127.6 Froggy 237. Center Froggy 237 is at 1,000 feet climbing 8,000 feet. Froggy 237 center altimeter 29er.9er to continue to FM 050 as planned. Lufthansa 132 Heavy, you are 50 miles south. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 25 left approach via Charlie Hotel Alpha transition. Cleared to Charlie Hotel Alpha.
Better be careful then, no pressure. Yeah. Well, no pressure on this one. I just figured it'd be kind of a fun backstory for our flight today. Because I do like this kind of white and black livery with a hint of gold along stripe along the side there. The black nacelles for the engines, that looks really sharp, I think. It's got that little red stripe on the underside there. That looks good. and then you got the white sort of leading edge after the tip with the aircraft 350i there on the very edge there, and then the huge red B on the back for Beechcraft. So, and then my flight number, my tail number. So, anyways, yeah, so I think that just came out yesterday, Mick. Yesterday evening when I was on, kind of just messing around, I noticed an update in the marketplace. So I think it has a, that's the sort of thing that it adds more stuff to London, including the HMS Belfast there on the River Thames that you were looking for. So if you have time to look in your marketplace there, you'll see what I'm talking about. They're on Flight Sim. Alright, let's have a look at everything. Oh, we can get our landing lights off. We'll keep all the other lights on just because we can. We don't need the logo light on, but we'll turn it off. Now, so yeah, here's our. We're on our way to FM 052, which is right here. Now, an interesting thing is it's off the track there. If you notice. So I don't know if that's a problem with the software in the game or what's going on, but I've been noticing lately a lot of our marks are off our chosen track, our flight track, as I like to call it. So we're gonna come here, and then we're probably gonna have to come out and then turn and then go back around into, yeah, because there is Mannheim. That's our next marker right there. So I think we're going to end up going out and then doing a wide turn and then coming back in. So anyways, now I think when I looked, the cruising altitude for this was supposed to be 16,500. It may bump us up all the way to 17,000 at some point. Yeah, see, we're doing this very sharp turn. So we're probably going to end up coming way out here and then having to overcorrect to get back on the flight track there. So we just barely skirt Mannheim. But yeah, there was a ship. I think it was the HMS Belfast that deals that pay DLC would add to the.
Climb and maintain 17,000 feet. Climb and
well, there it is. I called it correctly.
Froggy 237.
17,000 feet. It is. Of course, we just level off at about 8,000 feet when they call and tell us go to. Here's my vertical. Anywho, so yeah, this is our, once we land here at Munich, wrap up the stream for today. I've been to Munich, I know for sure one time, maybe twice. I'm trying to think. I know we went down one time. We were doing a barracks morale trip, and the intent of the trip was actually to go and see the Olympic Stadium site where the Israeli athletes had been killed, or around the village area where the athletes were all staying. And we weren't able to go due to the fact that there was a pretty bad windstorm like the day or so prior that shut down a lot of the roads that would have gotten us to the Olympic Village. So we basically went to downtown Munich, this huge, and I don't know what the proper name for it was, but it was like this huge shopping district in Munich, where I would think a lot of the Oktoberfest sort of celebrations take place during that time of the year. But we did go to the Hofbrauhaus, which is the you can tour the brewery where they make Hofbrau beer, and at the end you can taste the beer as it's freshly brewed, like just done, basically. So of course we hung out there because when you're stationed in Germany, Hofbrau beer becomes your beer of choice. It used to come in these huge racks, almost like a huge milk crate, but it was all bottles of beer, huge bottles of beer, not like a traditional what you would get. I don't think. Maybe they were a little bit bigger than what you would see in America. But of course the alcohol content of the beer there is significantly higher than what we get here in America. But yeah, Hofbrau beer was the beer of choice, so to speak. Whereas Germans preferred like Budweiser or whatever because it was like a lower content, and so they could drink more of it. So like when I would hang out with my German friends, like when we'd have a barbecue or whatever, they would always ask for us to bring Budweiser because the alcohol content is so low that they could drink it, and it was almost like for them, I guess, in a way, drinking non-alcoholic beer. So anyway, so we walked around the brewery, did the tour, and did the taste test as much as we could, as much as we were allowed without becoming too silly about it. And then we did then we walked from there around, and the one thing that I loved about Germany, and there was very few places here in the States now, but they always had like these huge music stores, whether it was records, CDs, tapes, cassette tapes or whatever. And so I found one in Munich, and I don't remember what I bought though. And I used to have like something like a souvenir kind of thing, something that the store put in the bag with your purchase. I used to have it. I don't know whatever happened to it, but I always remembered that trip very fondly because it was such a great time, because that was something that they tried to do for the single guys, get them out of the barracks, take them on a bus somewhere, and just have a great time and all that. I really wish we could have seen the Olympic Village. I think that would have been a real interesting historical sort of sight to see. But unfortunately with the weather, that windstorm, it knocked down a lot of trees, and we weren't able to get up there. So yeah, but yeah, really enjoyed my time in Munich. That was a great time. I think we only went once. I think we were going to try to go back, but it just never worked out that way. So, definitely one of those places I'd like to go back to if I ever have the means to go to Europe again for an extended period of time and just travel, take a ton of pictures, and because I mean I took pictures, but I didn't really. That's one of the things I regretted, is I didn't go out and travel more and take more pictures and store those memories away somewhere safe. Or as time went on, I didn't never like scan in. I lost so many negatives, film negatives, that I wish there's the stuff I had that would have been fantastic. On my Flickr, I think on the very tail end page there should be some pictures from Germany. That's just a very small amount compared to what I've had over the years. I really wish I had done more, taken more pictures, and then scanned those in and put them on CDs or something just to store them. But yeah. If I ever find the way to pay for it, I'm definitely going back. Definitely going to spend some time in Germany. Definitely want to go to the UK. Definitely want to go back to Ireland. The little bit I got to see of Shannon, Ireland. I'd like to do a proper trip of Ireland. Let's see if we can find where we over. Not getting any of the city markers or town markers to pop up for whatever reason. Alright, let's get a little off the throttle here. I know we were supposed to kind of skirt over Heidelberg. One of our next aerial tours that we'll do is we will take off and go around Heidelberg. We'll find the castle there. We'll try to find the ruins in Heidelberg of the castle there. And then we will go on down to Heilbronn and fly around Heilbronn. And then we'll find an airport to land at. And we'll land. So I kind of feel like that Icon A5 is a good aerial tour sort of aircraft. So I think we'll do that. I kind of feel like this is how. Could be wrong. Or that might be Heidelberg. We're just passing over right now. Yeah, so we'll do that one of these days. We'll do an aerial tour of Heidelberg / Heilbronn. We're not too far from one another. I just saw something popped up. Bommerbach Airfield.
Lufthansa 1153, you are 50 miles south. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 25 left approach via Charlie Hotel Alpha transition. Clear to Charlie Hotel Alpha.
This thing has like a speed. It does. Oh, okay. That's all right. We're doing fine. We don't need to go any faster than what we are right now. Okay, so we've got that marker there that says 15,150. So beyond that should be the next marker beyond Bembo should be up to 16,500. And so we're going to cruise for a little while, and then as soon as we see Renlo, will be the first one at 12,400, Rokil, R-O-K-I-L, at 9,200, and Begin, B-E-G-E-N, Begin, will be at 5,000 feet. The 5,000 feet marker should be our as we get into our approach of Munich and for our ILS approach. So I did look up. That is the ILS. Nice. It's the members only stream with Joe's Bus Simulator 21 member stream the other day. Went very well, I guess. AC1 something. Rest AC. Anyway, let's take a look here. Alright, so Begin should be our ILS approach for 08. Yep. 5,000 feet. So that information is correct. From OTT, which is the previous marker, we should be at 5,000 feet. So la la la, boots in the cockpit. Boots on the flight deck. Years ago when I was when I had gotten out the Army and I worked as a
4 miles at flight level 380 generic. Report them in sight. Air France
when I was working as a
traffic is 9 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 350 generic. Report them in sight.
I was working as a security guard at Apple had a plant manufacturing sort of facility in Fremont, California, and one of my coworkers who worked in the control center had all the monitors and such. You know, they would log in if you went to unlock a door, that sort of thing. Or if there was an alarm, they told you where to go. But anyway, one of my friends, he'd always, you know, things would be kind of quiet in the evening, and I'd be out walking around. He'd say, you know, come back to the security center. And so I go in there, I say, what's up? He's like, la la la, boots on the table, meaning that was his way of saying, take a load off for a few minutes, everything's okay. You know? Hello, Carl, how are you? So I always remember that, la la la, boots on the table. That was kind of like our code for, you know, things are okay, no worries. You're in time, Carl. We are 87 nautical miles from Munich. We should start managing our descent into Munich here once we pass this marker. There should be one more marker, I think, that's at a higher altitude. So we're looking for Renlo, which should be at 12,400, and we're going to start stepping down our altitudes. I want to get better at calling that decrease in so that we are prepared, we are at our right altitudes as time goes on. Yeah, I turned off the weather because I think there's a bit of a issue with the barometric pressures as the weather changes, you know, the kind of dynamic weather. We don't get those updated altimeter readings. And so I think what we end up having is we're way too high above for our approach. And so then the approach mode does not lock in and start us on the proper glide slope. So until, I think, you know, probably within the next month or so, there should be a sim update, which I think will hopefully address a lot of these issues with the ATC and the barometric pressures and all that. So if you want to fly in live weather, you get updates for your barometric pressures so that you're at the correct altitude throughout your flight based on your barometric pressures. So we're just going to take that. We're going to take the live weather off in the interim so that we can fly, still work on our flying capabilities, the takeoffs, the landings especially, because once we get airborne, I like to hand things off to the autopilot clearance. And yeah, there's just some very strange things, or it wants you at your cruise altitude almost to the last minute, and then it's like you're trying to go to the expected altitude for your approach. For us, which today is 5,000 feet. So I'm going to manage the descent. I'm not going to wait for them to tell us, but we're going to, as soon as we start seeing those numbers drop, we're going to start dropping our altitude. That way we are set up for our approach, and we'll have a nice smooth landing, as always, and we'll be okay. So, but I do want to get in the habit too. I want to get practice with landing in the bad weather, with the crosswinds and all that, managing the descent and getting everything lined up. You know, well, we'll let the systems take care of that, but I'd like to be able to, if we have a system failure of some kind all of a sudden, that we know what to do. Yeah. Well, I just generally start dialing in the descent as soon as we start seeing. I think after this marker here, we should see our next one should give us an idea of what the next expectation is. So I think we're at our. All right, that's a good sign. So we're entering Munich Airspace.
120.65 for Froggy 237. Munich Center, Froggy 237, 17,000 feet. Froggy 237, Munich Center, altimeter 29.9, continue to Bimbo as planned.
Because what I also noticed too is that distance that we have left, that 70 nautical miles, can go very quickly. All right, so that's 13,750. And then I think the one after that is our should be our 12,400. But we can start dropping our altitude. Let's start descending here. 13.7. just so that we can start getting I would like to do more of some more of those landing challenges as well. I think those were quite fun because it does kind of make you a bit of a better pilot, I think, in the simulator, because you can't rely on 11,600. So let's go all the way down to there. We should be definitely there by the time we get to that marker. So yeah, I do want to do some more there. Oh, I've got 5 viewers over on Twitch. Well, thank you all for coming in. If you feel like you would like to, say hello in the chat. If not, that's perfectly fine. Didn't expect 5 viewers. Band in Western Australia.
Froggy 237, you are 3,000 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 17,000 feet altimeter, 29
So of course we're going to start getting, and
climb and maintain 17,000 feet, Froggy 237.
I just need to be confident that when we ask for an altitude reduction, that we start getting or closer to. It's a guess because I don't really know when it says request cruising altitude decrease. I don't know what the steps are as far as where we go, step down, what the distance between the two are. So we're going to live with the calls to climb and maintain 17,000 feet, which we're going to get probably almost to the point that we get the marker for Beggin, or OTT, which is the previous marker before we get to Beggin. So that's when we'll start to get the reductions in altitude, and we'll be set up, I think, for a nice smooth approach into Munich. Wow, okay. So we'll just go to 9,200 or 91, go down to 91 here.
Speedbird 9052 is at flight level 235, descending 5,000 feet.
So Speedbird 952 is going to 5,000 feet. So they are. There we go.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 08 left approach via Rokill transition. Cleared to Rokill. Froggy 237, please expedite your climb 17,000 feet.
So Rokill, we've got that at 91 or 9,200 feet.
Expect ILS runway 08 left approach via Rokill transition. Cleared to Rokill Speedbird 9052.
So we're on 08 right. They're going to be landing on 08 left. I guess my viewers on Twitch are a bit shy today for whatever reason. That's okay. They're called Darren Reed and the Soul City Groove. They toured. Oh, nice, Mick. The Soul City Groove. I like that name. That's pretty awesome. So the good thing is that as we dropped altitude, we're kind of managing our speed a bit as well, which helps, I think, so that when we are ready to go into our ILS approach, we'll have a nice time slowing the plane down in preparation for landing. I don't know, Carl. That's what it kind of sounds like. Let's see, are we on the same marker here? That's Renlo. Okay, so that was supposed to be at 12,400. But that's now at 9150. So Roadkill should be probably even lower. Once we pass, so that's Renlo, which I thought we would be at 12,400 because that's what the flight plan said. So it looks like maybe that Speedbird flight is ahead of you.
You are 41 miles northwest.
There we go.
Present heading and altitude. Expect ILS
So
runway
Roadkill
08
should be
right
coming up
approach
next.
via
There's
Roadkill
Renlo.
Cleared to Roadkill. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 08 right approach via Roadkill transition. Cleared to Roadkill Froggy 237.
Alright, so we are good to go. So we should head on to, pretty soon we'll change our frequency to Munich Approach or Munich Tower. If that wasn't them already. I think that was Munich Center. Yeah, that's Munich Center. So we should get word from... Okay, there's Roadkill. So yeah, that's at the correct altitude, roughly. But see, that's weird. It said, you know, maintain present altitude and heading, but then they're saying, please go up to 17,000 feet. So, I think we're going to just stay right here at 9,100 because that's the we are cleared to Roadkill with our altitudes and everything. So all right, well, just to make the customer happy, we are going to put on the tail. So yeah, the lights are kind of in the tail there that go or not on the tail, but on the out part there, and then it shines on the tail. So when you're flying at night or whatever, or late afternoon. Yeah, that's what I think too, Carl. I'm hoping that a lot of this stuff gets addressed in the SimWorld update that we get, hopefully within the next month or so.
Contact approach on 120.7.
Alright, so now we're going to be talking to approach. We should get some other instructions here soon.
78 for Froggy 237. Approach Froggy 237 is at 9,100 feet, climbing 17,000 feet.
Froggy 237 approach altimeter 29.902, continue to Roadkill as planned.
So, that is the correct, well, that's how it's spelled in Microsoft Flight Simulators, M-U-E-N-C-H-E-N. That is the German spelling, or pretty close to the German spelling for Munich. lots of English-speaking people think that's pronounced Muchen. That's not the I don't think that's the correct pronunciation.
Foggy 237, please expedite your climb 17,000 feet.
All right, 28 nautical miles to the airport there. Now, if you remember correctly, we're going to kind of do this weird zigzag before we get to the actual approach. There's somebody coming pretty fast. I don't see them. I just saw them. Looks like maybe over here. I wonder if that's that Speedbird.
And maintain 9,100 feet.
We're already there.
Climb and maintain 9,100 feet, Froggy 237.
We're already at 9,100 feet. And so our next one should be descend and maintain 5,000 feet. I think that's Speedbird right there, quite honestly. But I may be wrong. So we don't always see the traffic. We just hear about it. But I thought that was them, but I don't think it is. So, I don't know. That might have been them. But I'm surprised. If that had been the case, I think we would have gotten a request for that we see another flight. Alright, so we are on our way to DM 411 is our next marker. But I'm surprised. I would think that we would have gotten, there would have been unless Speedbird is already, we would have heard Speedbird go over to Munich Tower, I think, as they were getting ready to land. There would have been that transition of their radio chatter, so they should be almost on approach by now, I would think. I do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out today. Appreciate my 5 viewers there on Twitch. Although I think by proxy I am one of the viewers. So 4 viewers, whatever the case may be. Glad you all are here hanging out. More viewers. Yeah, that may have been them, but it was like they slowed down and then they sped up. When I was watching on the center map there. So it may have been them, it may not have been them, I don't know, but it was weird because it was like it would just kind of slow down and then all of a sudden zip. So yeah, I think Speedbird is probably an Airbus 320 or maybe one of the Boeing aircraft. I'm not sure. So we still got one more marker to go. That is going to, our next one will be, we're at DM 411 here, and then we'll get our next marker here as soon as we pass that one. Making some small adjustments here. Okay, DM412 is our next marker there at 20 nautical miles away. No, UFO. I think it was just for whatever reason, I think that might have been Speedbird, but I think that's who that was. I could be wrong. But no, I don't think UFOs show up on our systems in here. No. No, I don't think that's the case, so. So yeah, we are ready to deliver this aircraft to a customer there in Munich. So tomorrow we will fly from Munich. We'll look at tomorrow's flight as soon as we land and get an idea of what we're going to do for that. Yeah, a lot of people mentioned about UFOs in the game when you see something zipping across your screen here, for instance, or whatever. I don't think that Microsoft or Asobo would do such things in the simulator. I know there's been a lot of discussion recently about UFOs as more information has come out about the history, so to speak, of UFO sightings and what's legit and what is not. But yeah, I can't see Microsoft Flight Simulator, anybody involved in it putting those little things in there. And, yeah, I don't think they would go for it, to be honest. Matter of fact, you know what? Tomorrow, I already kind of think I know what we're going to do tomorrow. So tomorrow we are going to fly from Munich up to Stuttgart. We'll go back to the Mountaineer. Well, I think people like to say stuff like that in forums and whatnot, just to get people discussing, or it's like, or somebody who's involved with the game puts that kind of in there, sort of as a joke, and then it gets people to play. Oh, there's UFOs. I better go fly over by Mount Rainier. Yeah. But, there's people that would I got to drop whatever I'm doing. I got to get on Microsoft Flight Simulator 10 and go find out if there's UFOs by Mount Rainier. And all of a sudden you see this spike in gameplay on the flight sim. And people sit back and they have a laugh about it because they're like, we got people, we fooled them. Ober Munich. So we should descend to 5,000 coming up. But this should... There goes another plane. Landshut. Alright, so we're going to make this kind of a weird right turn coming up. We should start turning here in a moment. We may fly a little bit past and then go between Anchor and DM 412 and then come around and come back onto the track right there. I don't know, Carl, to be honest, if it is. If it is, I would imagine that the photogeometry is probably very muddied so that people cannot see from the air anything that might give them any suggestions or ideas or whatever. I don't know. I've never flown over it since I've been on the flight sim, so I can't say for sure, but I don't think it's, if it's there, I don't think it's going to have very yeah, there's a lot of things missing. That's something that we were talking about from the flight yesterday over London when Nick called out the HMS Belfast. But there's like updated, you can buy like add-on sort of points of interest that third-party groups are going ahead and developing that and then selling it, that's great. DM427, so Beggin should be coming up soon. So I think maybe the Sydney Harbor is one of those. The bridge may be something that would have to be developed by a third-party group, and then you would have to pay a small fee to have that added to your game, to your simulator. So, but I mean I heard of where area is. I don't know for sure. It's probably not going to be a mark on the map. There wouldn't be a POI for it, I don't think. You would have to just find the lat long and try to see if you can navigate that way. But that is a I don't think, if we did find it, I don't know that that there would be anything there worth of note, you know, because I think they would purposely, at the request of the government, they would muddy the photogeometry, so we wouldn't get any kind of I don't know. I've not been over St. Louis. I know that there's lots of points of interest that don't seem to be in the game, and I think those will all be added at some point in more of the world updates. So I couldn't say for sure if St. Louis doesn't have the arch. We may be able to find it, as far as like if we looked after we flew, if we looked over St. Louis and tried to find the arch, we may be able to see it, but I don't think it would be marked as a POI. So I don't know. Fly Lufthansa to London, we know is a yeah. But yeah, all those things, I mean, there's so much to see and everything that, you know, eventually we'll add more sort of things to the sort of the program, so to speak, I guess you could call it. Alright, so we should be coming back around DM425, and then we should start seeing another reduction in altitude to 5,000 feet here pretty soon. I kind of feel like after this marker, we should see the OTT marker, and that should be at 5,000 feet. there's the Munich airport there. Two good-sized runways. Yeah, it is absolutely, Carl. I would agree with that. It's evolving, it's getting fixed, it's getting better. Not everybody sees it that way, or not everybody is willing to give Asobo and even the third-party folks time to fix more things, which I think is it's rather sad, because what I've noticed is that we have a lot of people just don't seem very there's just a lack of gratefulness, and they express that towards the developers, anybody who says that they're not having really significant issues. Oh, you must be crazy or something, or yeah, I don't know. So all right, I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat, but I'm going to get ready. Things should start happening here momentarily to get this thing on the ground. 08 right is the far runway over there, so we should be on the ground momentarily. So if I miss your DM23, so maybe one more marker, we should see the OTT marker soon, and that reduction to 5,000 feet. Well, I think we all have had issues of one kind or another, whether major or minor. If you keep at it and just try to enjoy what you can, like I found this plane and I really enjoyed flying it. I'm hoping that we can introduce other planes as time goes on and do more. Right now I'm really enjoying, because this thing is flies pretty fast. Haven't had too many issues when I'm flying it. So yeah, I think we're going to stick with this one for the time being until there's more updates and things improve. I kind of feel like I know this plane fairly well enough that if I have to take over and fly it manually, I'm okay with that. Wow, Parker 9100. Okay, that's DM422 again. I feel like we already hit 422. This is kind of weird. Yeah, I do too. I do like the landing part. Oh, I got 3 people watching here. I've got 6 people on Twitch. Wow, this is rather unexpected today. 5 people on Twitch. So, thank you all for coming in, no matter where you're watching. Petershausen. Zeichelberg. Solon. We got Thon. Lamptershausen. Wow, that's an interesting name. Lamptershausen. Jetzendorf. Volkersdorf. Huh. I always like to find these town names and just to see what kind of areas we're flying over. Ick. Wow. Eschernhausen. Wuppersdorf. Interesting names. Alright, what's going to happen here? I think we got one more marker, of course. So now we are on DM421. This is kind of weird. I feel like we're flying this... We flew this track before, but now we're flying it back, and we should start making a left turn to get lined up. I do believe. I'm going to be a bit befuddled if we end up going back the way we came, which it shouldn't be. We shouldn't have been on that anywhere that same track that we flew into here. That would take us, you know, like we would just kind of go around in a circle. You know, so. Alright, what do we got here now? 240. This is rather strange. Like, we are going... It's like we're going farther and farther away, and we're not, like... I figured, yeah, another fast plane on the screen, yeah. What does it sound like? I haven't had a Heineken in a while. I don't even know if I want to try to pronounce that one. That's kind of a strange name right there. And another one. Okay, there's approach. So that should be OTT. Nope. We're still on 420. 6.3. Okay, so that's... Alright. And then it'll go DM350. Nope. D035. D035. D0350. And then D400. There we go. Alright.
Descend and maintain 5,000 feet, Froggy 237.
There we go. Alright. We finally are reducing to our landing. Alright, we should make a lazy left-hander here pretty soon. No, I take... I keep it autopilot all the way till we're almost at the end, right over the runway.
Munich Center Froggy 237 is passing 8,100 feet, descending 5,000 feet. Froggy 237 Munich Center altimeter 29.9.
There we go. There's Megan. Yes. All right. There we go. As soon as we come around and line up, I'm going to put our first level of flaps down so we can start slowing down, and then we'll go ahead and get our landing gear down.
Froggy 237 contact approach on 120.78. Good day. Going to 120.78, Froggy 237. Approach
so look how far off we went.
600 feet, descending 5,000 feet.
Froggy 237 approach altimeter 29.92. Continue to begin as planned.
So we got to do this long left-hander to get back on track here. But we'll be at the appropriate altitude, that's for sure. We're going to get back on that track here in a moment. We had to kind of correct and get back towards there. So OTT was not even a factor in our plan. even though on the airport information that I looked up, the chart, it said OTT was the marker prior to Begin. So, but either way, we are going to put the gear down now, even though we're still a little bit out. Matter of fact, you know, I'm going to keep it back. I'm going to keep the gear up for just a little bit longer. Yeah, once we get closer, I'll put the gear down. Yeah, yeah, that leg to get back onto the approach was a very kind of it seemed a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But that's okay. We're at our 5,000 feet. We're correcting for our track. And so as we get closer to Begin, that should be our descent marker, or I'll put on the approach mode and let the ILS take over and guide us in, and then we'll fire the autopilot at the appropriate time, and we'll put this thing on the ground. Do appreciate everybody coming and hanging out today, flying with us. Yeah. On behalf of myself and First Officer Clarence, I do appreciate you flying with us today to Munich. We know you have many choices when it comes to your aircraft delivery needs, but we're glad you chose us today to bring your aircraft to Munich. We'll be on the ground shortly. That's my semi-professional spiel. The usual stuff that the pilot or the lead flight attendant likes to say. Usually it's the pilot. I'm half tempted to throw down a little bit of flap. Yeah, why not? Might as well get that speed reduced a little bit. Do an Aussie version. Oh, I can't do an Aussie voice. I'm not gonna attempt it. I would probably ruin it, so. Now we'll go ahead and put the gear back down. And as soon as we get to that marker, I'll throw on the approach mode. We'll see the marker there coming up. Another plane on our screen, but not in the sky. They may be way up high in altitude, so that's all right.
237, you are 15 miles west of Munich.
All right, here we go to the tower.
119.405 when inbound.
Get the approach mode on.
Tower on 119.405 Froggy 237. Tower Froggy 237, 14 miles west inbound ILS runway 08 right approach.
Froggy 237 tower. Altimeter 29.902 wind 268.
There's our lineup. We got our markers. Now, one of the things that a lot of people have been saying in the forums is that they've been noticing that the ILS lineup has been a little bit to the left.
Altimeter 29.902, winds 268 at 3. Cleared
All right,
ILS runway 08 right
the
approach.
glide path is locked in.
Tower Froggy 237 inbound ILS runway 08 right approach.
Froggy 237 tower.
Now this is another thing that happens quite frequently. It keeps telling us that we're cleared to land, and it's like it keeps repeating itself
Tower
until a
Froggy
certain
237
point.
inbound ILS runway 08 right approach.
Froggy 237 tower.
See? And it just keeps repeating itself. It's
It's
like it's stuck in a loop.
Cleared ILS runway 08 right approach.
Cleared ILS runway 08 right approach Froggy 237.
Alright, that should be the last one. There we go. Alright. The GS is green, so we got our glide slope locked in. It's starting to bring us down in altitude there. Yeah, that seems to be happening quite frequently lately. That it kind of continues to tell us the same information repeatedly, and then it finally says, "Okay, enough is enough." I like to kind of stay out here for just a moment. Oh, you know what we need to do? Let's do this too. Let's put the landing lights on, even though it's daytime. I like to have the lights on just in case. Yeah, they sure do, Carl. All right. Like that looks like the Autobahn or some, I'm not sure which one it is, but that looks like I guess like a rest center maybe? Yeah. For truckers. Yeah, kind of like a travel center. All right. Bay Friesen? Huh. I guess that's Neufahren by Friesen. Friesen?
Foggy 23, 7 wind 268 at 3. Cleared to land runway 08 right.
Yep. Alright.
Cleared to land runway 08 right Froggy 237.
Always get that kind of a warning sound. I don't know why. I mean, we're pretty high up enough in altitude that we're not in danger of hitting anything. Now it's almost like a test track. Nope, that's the Autobahn too. Oh, that curve right there almost looked like a test track or something for a car manufacturer. But nope, that's just part of the Autobahn. Alright, let's get ready to put this thing on the ground. Our autopilot, well, that's what it sounds like. I don't know, I just hit the safety master warning button and it seemed to silence it, so I don't know what it is. It was a bit of a headache there. Right, there's our warning that we're all right. ready to fire the autopilot. Okay, autopilot is done. Oops. Should have enough speed to carry us over the runway edge there. Wow, it really put us right at the left edge of the airfield there. Wow.
Foggy 237, turn next taxiway.
All right. Well, there we are. Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it is. I didn't know that it gave an audio sort of warning.
Foggy 237, exit runway with able.
Well, welcome to Munich, everybody. On behalf of your flight crew, we hope you enjoyed today's flight. Ah, okay. That's what that is. All right. Good to know. Thank you, Carl. I always thought it was like a warning, like something was getting ready, like I was getting ready to hit something.
Foggy 237, contact ground on 121.78.
121.78,
We're off
Froggy
the runway.
237.
Let's stop here. 121.8. To
Ground Froggy
parking.
237, taxi to parking.
Froggy 237, taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Bravo 7 Sierra 6 Charlie 5 Whiskey.
Well, thank you, Mick. I appreciate that.
Taxiing to general aviation parking by taxiway Bravo 7 Sierra 6 Charlie 5 Whiskey 1 Froggy
A
237.
little bit more to the left than I would have preferred, but we got it on the ground safely. We didn't run off the road, the runway. I almost said the road. Get this weird.
Froggy 237, hold position, caution, other traffic.
Hold position Froggy 237.
Froggy 237, continue taxi.
That was rather
Roger
odd.
Froggy 237.
Froggy 237, hold position, caution, other traffic.
Hold position Froggy
What
237.
other oh, right here. Maybe they'll let me get to my parking spot here eventually. All right. There we go. I'm gonna go try to move up here because I see more traffic crossing the taxiway here.
Froggy 237, continue taxi. Froggy 237, hold position, caution, other traffic.
Oh,
Roger, Froggy 237.
This is certainly a busy airport. All right, let's go. Now it looks like we go over a road that, of course, the cars just disappear and come out the other side. Because they haven't been able to put in the height difference on the road and the see, it almost looks like it's going to cross, but they just disappear and then come out on the other side there. Kind of weird. All right. And then you have this van just sitting out here. Look at this. It's like there's where a picture was taken of an aircraft. Or something. Kind of weird. Looks like that plane is taxiing, so we're going to get out of its way. Well, hello, Enea. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Another touchdown. Well, thanks, Mick. Yeah, okay, that Airbus is certainly was taxiing. Alright, we're just going to park it right here, shut the engines down. That looks like the Dreamliner. That is not an A320, that looks like the Boeing Dreamliner. Alright, let's get this all shut down. Let's turn all the lights off. Alright, let's just shut the battery off. Ta-da! Okay, hour and 12-minute flight time. So that wasn't too bad. So let's take a look. We're almost at 77 hours flying total. Let's take a look at our flight for tomorrow. So we are going to go. I'm going to get my paper ready here so I can write this down once the stream ends. All right, so tomorrow we are going to go from Munich. We're going to take off on 26 right. Plenty of runway. And it should be a very short flight to Stuttgart. We're going to 07 as arrival airport. IFR, low altitude, 42-minute flight. Let's see if we get a nice departure out of... So we're going to go here, go down, and then turn, head up. Yeah, it's still a 56-minute flight, but that's okay. And then we're going to go for ILS runway 07. There we go. So There we are. That's our flight for tomorrow. Yeah, straightforward flight. Yeah, that was. The only thing that kind of threw me for a loop was the zigzag until we finally lined up for 08 right. That took a little bit longer than I thought it would, to be honest. But that's okay. We got on the ground safely. It's all good. So anyway, we'll be back tomorrow morning on Train Sim World 2. We will be doing the... we'll go back to Boston Sprinter tomorrow. We'll do a scenario on Boston Sprinter. How about that? And then we will be back here, normal time, 9 o'clock, doing this flight from Munich to Stuttgart. So, should be a very straightforward one as well. Don't anticipate any problems or anything. So, anyway, enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. All right, take care. Peace, live long, and prosper.